Hello children, welcome back to the second session of class 9 geography chapter number 4, that is climate. So today we will be continuing with the further part of the chapter where we will be moving into details of Indian monsoon, seasonal changes, distribution of rainfall and monsoon as a unifying bond. So as you can see on the screen, monsoon, just to remind you all, monsoon is a term which is derived from an Arabic word mosim that refers to seasons. And India experiences monsoon. That is a seasonal change that we people go on with. Cycle of seasonal change is referred to with the Indian climatic condition. That's why India is referred as monsoon country. Monsoon winds strongly influence the climate of India. The following mechanisms related to Indian monsoon are essential to keep in mind while discussing the chapter on climate. So, the very first point which you have as the mechanism is when the land is heated and the water bodies are cooled, it creates low pressure on ground and high pressure over the sea and vice versa. It's very, very important for you to know and understand, children, the differential heating and cooling of land and water affects the climatic condition. If the land is heated and the water bodies are cool, it creates the low pressure on the ground, wherein high pressure in the sea. So this is just because differential heating and cooling of land and water. That's the very first mechanism. The second one is there's a shift in the position of intertropical convergence zone. I'll be briefing you what is this, but then please understand the position of ITCZ over the Ganga plain in summer is shifted, and that is known as monsoon trough. Shift of the position of ITCZ over the Ganga plain in summer is referred as monsoon trough, and this is one of the mechanisms which is related to the Indian monsoon. The third one is high pressure area towards the east of Madagascar also affects the monsoon. High pressure areas over the east of Madagascar also affects the monsoon. The fourth one, excessive heating of Tibetan plateau during summer results in strong air currents which are vertical in direction. And the last mechanism is the movement of the westerly jet stream to the north of the Himalayas and that of easterly jet streams over the Indian peninsula also affects the monsoon. So, in short, if we have to know and understand what are the different mechanisms, the first one which we have is the differential heating and cooling of land and water, the shift of the position of ITCZ, that is intertropical convergence zone over the Ganga plain in summer. Then you have high pressure area towards the east of Madagascar, which affects the monsoon. Tibetan plateaus, which get in highly heated or intensely heated, also affects the monsoon. And the last one is the movement of westerly jet stream to the north of Himalayas and that of easterly jet streams over the Indian peninsula. These are the different mechanisms which you need to understand, revise and mug up so as to answer the question when it is asked for what are the different mechanisms of Indian monsoon. Let us see what actually ITCZ, that is intertropical convergence zone, is. So this is the meeting place of hot and cold trade winds in the northern and southern hemisphere. ITCZ, if you see over here in this image, this will brief you where meeting place of hot and cold trade winds is then being referred in the northern and the southern hemisphere is referred to as ITCZ, that is intertropical convergence zone. The weather system may trigger rain showers, even flash floods in affected areas. In the time, rising warm air will form clouds which may lead to thunderstorm. So in short, if we have to know and understand what is ITCZ, it's a broad trough of low pressure in equatorial latitudes. This is where the northeast and the southeast trade winds converge. And this convergence zone lies more or less parallel to the equator but moves north or south with the apparent movement of the sun. Meeting place of hot and cold train winds in the northern and the southern hemisphere is known as ITCZ. Hope this is understood, children. Now these are different climatic regions which you can see on the screen, which talks about Indian map and the different areas which are highlighted as tropical wet and dry, that is also known as savanna, semi-arid or steppe, humid subtropical, that is warm summer, undifferentiated highlands, and desert or arid regions. Just look at the map, you'll get to know what are the different climatic regions which Indian map is briefing you on the screen. Moving ahead, textbook you have onset and the monsoon, onset of the monsoon and the withdrawal, wherein if you see onset is nothing but the arrival. So to make it more easy for you to comprehend and understand, that's arrival and withdrawal of monsoon. By the first week of June, the monsoon arrives at the southern tip of Indian Peninsula. Here it splits into two branches, the Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. I hope we all know where is Arabian Sea branch and the Bay of Bengal branch. See this side, to the left hand side or maybe to the western side of India, you can see Arabian Sea, and the eastern side is Bay of Bengal. So the first week of June, the monsoon arrives at the southern tip of Indian Peninsula. There it splits into two branches, that is the Arabian branch and the Bay of Bengal branch, which is mentioned below are some of the prominent characteristics of Indian monsoon in our notes on climates. By the 10th of June, the Arabian Sea branch reaches Mumbai. Please note, monsoon reaches Mumbai by the Arabian Sea branch, which is approximately by 10th of June. Bay of Bengal branch reaches Assam in the first week of June. Assam gets in monsoon from Bay of Bengal, wherein Arabian Sea reaches to Mumbai by 10th of June with its monsoon. Mid-June, the Arabian Sea branch reaches central India. There is the merging of Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea branch over the northwestern part of Ganga Plains. And by the end of June, the Bay of Bengal branch brings monsoon to Delhi. Mumbai receives monsoon from Arabian Sea, Assam from Bay of Bengal. Central India is covered by mid-June by the Arabian Sea branch, wherein there is a merging of Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea branch over the northwestern parts of Ganga Plains, and by the end of June, Bay of Bengal branch reaches to Delhi with monsoon. By the first week of July, monsoon reaches UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana and Rajasthan. Himachal Pradesh and the rest of the states experience monsoon by mid of July. The withdrawal of monsoon occurs gradually beginning in the northwestern states by early September. Complete withdrawal of monsoon from the northern half of the peninsula occurs in mid-October. By early December, the monsoon is withdrawn from the whole country. I hope Indian monsoon is well understood, where we have seen how monsoon reaches and how it gets split into two parts, two branches, that is Bay of Bengal branch and Arabian Sea branch. Now we'll be moving ahead with seasonal change. The year is divided into seasons based on generalized monthly atmospheric conditions. Majorly, India has 4 seasons depending upon its climatic conditions. Here it is detailed. Here it is in a detailed description of seasons in India. It is a discussion of the chapter on climate. So the first part, the first season which is highlighted is the hot weather season, which is also popularly referred as summer. Summer ranges from March to May, with the temperature rising to 48 degrees Celsius. In North India, summers are marked by the fall in air pressure and rise in temperature. Loo is the characteristic of Indian summer. The hot and dry winds that blow in North India during the day are as loo. When summer season is about to end, the country experiences pre-monsoon showers. These are essential for the ripening of mangoes. Therefore, they are known as mango showers. Please understand, pre-monsoon showers are also referred as mango showers because they are very, very essential for the ripening of mangoes. Moving ahead with the second season, that is the cold weather season, which is also known as winter. In North India, winter begins in mid-November and lasts till February. In North India, December and January are the coldest months. The temperature is highest in the south and lowest in the north. Days are warmer than nights and humidity is less. Moreover, this season holds a significance in Rabi crop cultivation. That's all about cold or winter season, where we have seen that the extreme coldness is experienced in the north, wherein in south that is a gradual or the normal one. The third season, which is referred in Indian climatic condition as advancing monsoon, which is popularly referred as rainy season. Monsoon reaches in India starting of June, which we have seen by 10th it reaches to Mumbai. In the first week it reaches to Assam. So it reaches, monsoon basically reaches in India in the starting of June. There's a decrease in rainfall in the Ganga Valley from east to west. The breaks in rainfall are the characteristic features of monsoon season. This is caused by the movement of monsoon trough from north to south. The spatial distribution of rainfall is also determined by the movement of the trough and its axis. The span of monsoon and the amount of rainfall depends on the frequency and intensity of tropical depression. You can see Indian monsoon onset map, which is there to the left hand side, where you will find red arrows, how Arabian Sea branch reaches in, how Bay of Bengal branch reaches in, and how the entire northwestern winter components which are then being referred over there are highlighted. So that's all about the third season, that is advancing monsoon, which is referred as rainy season. Moving ahead with the last season with regards to India, that is retreating or post-monsoon season, which is referred as transition season. Monsoon becomes weaker in the northern region from mid-October to November. During the days, there is a rise in temperature and humidity known as October heat. Rise in temperature, which is experienced in northern region from mid-October, is referred as October heat. The sky becomes clear and the temperature starts rising. Usually, it is hotter during the day and the nights are cooler. By mid-October, the temperature falls rapidly in North India. As mentioned in the chapter on climate, cyclonic depressions are caused by early November. Hope this has briefed you all about the seasonal cycle of India, where we have studied about hot weather season, that is summer, cold weather season, that is winter, advancing monsoon, that is rainy, and retreating or post-monsoon season, that is transition season. So these were the 4 seasons which are then being mentioned in your chapter called Climate in your geography textbook of class 9. Moving ahead now, where we will be looking into what is the distribution of rainfall in India. The darker the zone, the heavier the rainfall, which you are able to see on the screen. It is talking about the average annual rainfall in India. Distribution of rainfall varies every year. Approximately 400 centimeter is experienced annually by northeast India and the western coast. However, in Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana and Punjab, only 60 centimeter. Look at the difference, which is too huge. One section, one part of the nation receives in approximately 400 centimeters, wherein there are few regions which just receive 60% of rainfall, which includes Rajasthan, Gujarat, Haryana and Punjab. It is even lower in the Deccan Plateau, as stated in the chapter of Climate class 9. Only the Himalayan region experiences snowfall in India. It's not compulsory that it will receive, but majority of the time Himalayan region is the only place which receives in snowfall. And now moving ahead with the last part of our chapter, that is monsoon as a unifying bond. Wind systems and the weather conditions are altered regularly, which leads to a continuous cycle of the seasons. Monsoons have a typical feature of uncertain rains. Every year, people from country wait eagerly for monsoon. This season also acts as a binding factor for the whole nation as it provides water for cultivation of crops. Ultimately, whether or not the region receives higher amount of rainfall or a lower amount of rainfall, India is known for its cultivation. India is known for its agriculture. So this rain matters a lot, and that's how the chapter ends with, where you have a case study which is there on page number 38 of your textbook. Please go through it, where you will get to know about the hazardous effects, the destructions the rain causes it. I hope the chapter is well understood. Thank you so much.